Nick Fuentes' situation is crazy. Some guy showed up outside of his house with a freaking crossbow. We got freaking Daryl from The Walking Dead here. He just places it nonchalantly and then calls for his name. Yo, Nick! He also had this unidentified looking weapon. I'm not sure what that is. I'm Canadian. According to The Sun, the gunman killed 3 people earlier that day. The victims were identified as 3 family members. A bunch of people were skeptical about this and thought Nick Fuentes would fake this for clout, but more footage got revealed from his Ring cameras showing the guy messing around in his car, trying to get in through his backyard and like straight up like goofing around. On the WestJett News Media Corporation, we don't give our opinion, we provide unbiased fact, but I personally think that this is real because he has so many Ring camera subscriptions. As if the triple homicide wasn't enough, the guy actually ended up killing Nick Fuentes' neighbor's dogs. The guy wasn't messing around. He even brought the Chewbacca crossbow for backup. And then he died in a fatal shootout to the police. No intro today, heavy subject matter. Now, if you're out of the loop and don't know who Nick Fuentes is, probably good for you. Don't get involved in politics. But jokes aside, why is someone at his house with a Renaissance fair weapon? Well, let's figure it out. It could all be traced down to Donald Trump winning the election. Nick Fuentes made this tweet, which went insanely Obama viral, and he had this clip, which people didn't like.
The feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again. Okay, men win again.
Boys rule, girls drool.
And yes, we control your bodies. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president ever.
Nick is a provocateur. He's a troll. Like, when I saw this, I thought it was kind of dumb. Like, I thought he was baiting on purpose, but people seem to get really offended at this.
Glass ceiling? Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it.
At the same time, I also understand people that had a problem with it, especially the people that didn't know who Nick Fuentes was, because saying something like this is completely unhinged. As you could probably imagine, a volcano erupted because of this tweet. Nick's address got doxed on Twitter, and people started showing up at his door. This lady walked up to his house, rang his doorbell, and got pepper sprayed, which, albeit, he might have CS2 Jiggle Peak pre-fired the pepper spray a little too hard on the lady, but in his defense, playing devil's advocate here, he has been getting plenty of death threats online, so it makes sense why he's on edge at least. Nevertheless, make your own opinion here.
What's the story? Apparently, well, what I'm getting is this guy over here is made a bad joke online, and now people are targeting his house. This lady, as you know, she came over here, rang the doorbell. Apparently, he sprayed her with mace in the eyes.
Nick Fuentes might be a robot because he got charged with battery. Anyway, 5-0 showed up and we got that awesome police footage here.
All I'm going to say is I'm a high-profile person. I want someone stationed here. 20 people came by last night. I had paid security. They documented all of it.
Where's security?
I called. They're coming tonight at 7 o'clock. Okay. I can't afford to have it 24 hours. I called earlier because somebody else was in front taking pictures of my house. Cops drove by, saw the car that I reported with the license plate, make and model, and they didn't even stop. Okay. And the lady stood there filming my house, pointing at my house, gesturing to it. This has been going on for the past 3 days. I've been calling the police. Clearly no one's taking it seriously.
Regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, or even if you're on the spectrum, we can all agree that the cops sort of dropped the ball here, and now 2 innocent dogs are dead. Like, what?
You're saying you're a white supremacist?
I'm not a white supremacist. I'm Mexican. I'm not saying Fuentes.
I know.
Love him or hate him, the logic is there. Can't be a white supremacist if you're Mexican. Nevertheless, why would the cop even ask that? Are you a white supremacist? Like, who's gonna answer that? Like, you could be the Grand Wizard of the you better keep your mouth shut.
Especially right now after Trump won, man.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, but
it's a very political thing to say.
We also live in a free country
Yeah.
where you can speak without people showing up.
Yeah.
And trying to hurt you.
Oh,
I'm not even American and I can get behind that idea. Nobody with politically different opinions should be targeted by violence, regardless of what those opinions are, and especially if they're being said on the internet. If somebody's words on the internet trigger you to such an extreme that you want to show up to their house and, knock on the door and pay them a little visit, you should probably be surrounded by a room with mattresses. I feel like this needs to be said because a good amount of Americans are genuinely fat and and just because I agree with Nick's notion of freedom, it doesn't mean I stand by everything he stands for. This might be a hot take, but I feel like American thinking in general is vastly, tribal. They're like, me as a conservative, what do I think about this situation? Or like, as a liberal, how should I take this? Anywho, Scooby-Doo, it feels like the news is a bit divided on this issue, and the one thing they can agree on is that the guy who showed up at his door was a gunman. Anyway, Nick's tweet says the guy also brought incendiary devices, which is essentially a frickin' bomb. Now he has to uproot his life, relocate, and contract 24/7 security to protect himself. Regardless of what you think of Matt Walsh, we could all agree with what he said, that doxing is, pretty bad. Not very poggers.
We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never.
Like, don't get me wrong, this is inflammatory and might be hurtful to some people, and I guess I can emphasize with that. But this is the internet you're talking about. If you watch this and get personally offended, you already lost. You're letting your emotions get hijacked by social media corporate giants to fuel your rage in order to make them more money through advertisers. I'm sorry I'm a bit pissed in this video, but like, you can't control what this dude says on the internet, but you can control how you react to it. Just ignore. Don't go to his house with a crossbow. Like, he ain't the boogeyman. Like, turn off your TV and he disappears. Like, he ain't crawling out yo TV, man.
Controversial far-right provocateur says he was also a target. NBC5's JC Navarrete joins us live in Berwyn tonight. And JC, what have you been able to find out?
This afternoon, we do learn that controversial far-right streamer Nick Fuentes is claiming he was an additional target.
Like, I guess the claim's pretty valid because apparently the guy drove 2.5 hours from the first initial triple homicide to Nick's house, and he was armed. Nick is now looking for an attorney to help pursue legal action against the people who posted his address and got him doxxed. Usually I blur the @ here, but the person deleted their account anyway. Like, I understand hating somebody's opinions or whatever and like everything they stand for, but isn't doxing a literal crime? People are also sort of mad at Elon Musk because the tweets that were doxing him remained up for a really long time and garnered millions of views.
So these two people are outside my house, filming my house. I called the police earlier. They drove by. They saw it going on. They drove right past. They're marching around on my sidewalk. They came up to the door. I pushed her down the steps because she's banging on my door, filming my house. People are saying they're going to come and kill me. So someone needs to come out here.
This next part I'm going to show you, you're going to low-key die laughing. Like, watch this.
And then is it a male and a female or two males?
It's two females.
Two females? Are they black, white, or Hispanic?
Dude, you missed Asian. What is this? Are you trying to gouge their, like, power level or threat level? What is this? Hispanic? Bring the DEA and ICE. Black? Bring the whole damn SWAT team. Jokes aside, that's probably protocol, but I thought that was quite funny.
What is that about?
I posted a joke on the internet. I'm a live streamer.
It doesn't matter if you think the joke was funny or if you don't even think he was joking in the first place. I think we could all agree that political violence and escalating to that extreme is not good. Even ringing his doorbell after seeing something he said on the internet is kind of a stupid thing to do. I'm sorry, but imagine being 57 and going up to someone's house over something you saw on the internet. Call me Malaysian Airlines, because this joke might not land, but you can't even get pregnant at 57. Why are you concerned about abortion? Anyway.
Police have not connected lines to the incident at Fuentes' home. But we do know they are trying to piece together the violent spree, trying to figure out if this is all connected.
I mean, it doesn't take an expert to see that this guy wasn't very premeditated or like cool and collected. I'm pretty sure he just had a triple homicide and he was like, man, I remember that guy pissed me off. Why not take him out too? I'm already going to jail, you know? Suspect eventually got identified as a 24-year-old, and it's honestly crazy. Like, he's my age. He should be grilling and like not focusing on nerd politics, bro.